Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's racing show is sponsored by Chad Rat Construction. Go hit up Chad Rat for all your construction needs. But tonight on the Josh Nolan and Olive Rest Full Throttle Racing Show, we have sprint car racing superstar, Mr. Dominic White. Welcome to the show, Dominic.
Hello, honored to be here.
So, Dominic, let's talk about your racing career. Where did it all begin for you?
Well, it all started. We started out in a go kart, and from a go kart, it evolved into a micro. We started out in a go kart. There was a track being built up in Norfolk, and Dad, he had raced go karts as a kid, and his brother had ran modifieds, and he thought it'd be something cool to get into. And Norfolk kept having practices instead of races, and we wanted to go racing, so we went over to Eagle and ran on their little track in the infield. And from there, we got hooked. The race didn't go that well. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was supposed to start like eighth. And I didn't know that they were telling me to get up in line. So I ended up starting like 16th and ended up finishing eighth. So it was a good night. And then we kind of got hooked from there. And then it turned into a micro. And then now it's turned into a sprint car.
So, when you first climbed into a race car for the first time, were you a little bit nervous or not?
I don't know. It's been 7 years ago now, but probably a little bit. I think it's just I wasn't super nervous because I really had no expectations and I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I think I'm more nervous now at big shows than I was probably for my first race. But yeah, I don't know.
So, where did your race car number come from?
Well, my dad said his number was 29 or 92. I can't quite remember which order it was. 29, that's what it was. And I don't know. I just took 9 plus 2 and then I got 11. And Dad said that's pretty common. So I had to put actually it was 11 DW for a while. And then once you get up into the big cars, they don't allow 2 letters.
Okay, so Dominic, with your racing career, how much success have you had as a race car driver?
Oh, I've had a decent amount. I feel like we our first year we weren't too bad. I think we ended up like fifth in points at Eagle in the go kart, and then second year we finished like third, I think, tied for second, and then the year after that I didn't lose a race in the one class we ran at, and that was a good year. And then the micro, our first year was kind of a learning experience. I think we won 2 or 3 or 4 races somewhere in there. And then the second year in micros was the year we ran nationally. We didn't pick up any wins nationally, but we ended up second and in national points. And then that year too, I think we won quite a few other races. I think like seven. I think I won. It was in the teens somewhere, but I don't remember how many. I think it was like 13, between 13 and 17. And a lot of that was local shows, but no matter where you go, a win's a win. There's a lot of people who've fired their engines up and never won a race before, so you can't go anywhere without being happy that you won something. You got to take every win you can get. And then our next year at micros, we didn't race as much as we did nationally. I told my dad I didn't want to. I mean, running nationally it was fun, but it's grueling. You run all year and you never have a break. It turns into work to run points. I haven't ran points in really anything since. Um, that year was pretty good. And then the next couple years, we were okay. We didn't have a whole bunch of success. Then this last year, we moved up to the sprint cars and we were all right. We had some bad luck, but everybody's gonna have bad luck, and hopefully we got that out of the way.
Okay, so Dominic, what's an awesome day at the race shop look like for you?
Oh well, we usually get there pretty early, so usually we don't have to rush at all. You kind of just you unload the car, you get ready. Usually go up and look at the racetrack a little bit, go around and talk to people a little bit. You just do some simple get tires, get stagger set on your car, get the wings set up because you got to flatten the wing, get it in the trailer, and that's about it. And then you get the car fired, and once the car's fired, then it's go time.
Okay, so Dominic, how do you celebrate your victories?
I don't know. I usually get up on the wing and do a wing dance or whatever. The one time I did a Macarena on top of the wing, so that was kind of fun. I don't know. I usually try and interact with the fans. We used to go up to Wagner, which I don't know if they're going to run anymore this year. It's not looking very good for them. But used to go to Wagner Speedway in South Dakota, and we ran the micro there. And I only ever lost one race there, and it was because of a mechanical failure. And they the last year that we ran there, they had a microphone, and you could talk a little bit. But yeah, I usually do something. I usually always thank the fans because without them, we wouldn't that track wouldn't exist and we wouldn't be here. So I always try and thank them because I know that they're the reason we're here. And I don't do anything too excessive. I just, give a little cheer and up on the wing. That's about it.
So what's an awesome day at the racetrack look like for you then?
Uh Winning a race is awesome. Um, we usually when we go up and draw, I usually draw in the back. So I usually got to pass cars in the heat race, and once we pass cars in the heat race, then we can go forward from there, and then hopefully we're not in a B feature. I like to lock straight into the A because even if you're starting on the pole, the B, it's hard to make it because there's so many things that can go wrong.
So Dominic, what's your favorite type of racetrack to race on?
I like a slicker track. I definitely don't like a rough racetrack. I'm never usually very good when it gets rough. But my cars never really seem to handle very good when it's rough, and I don't like racing on them. I try to take care of my equipment. Like the sprint car we're putting together here is like I own the frame on it, and I own some of the stuff on the car. So running on a track like that, I don't like running on a rough track. I know every crew doesn't want it to get rough, and it's not fun on me. I like the slicker tracks because I feel like you can race better. You can run the bottom or you can run the top. I like a track that's slick with a little bit of a cushion on it, but nothing crazy. And a smaller track. I don't like a tiny, tiny track, but I also don't like a half mile. I feel like it's just you're going so fast, and they're a lot more dangerous than a smaller racetrack to an extent. And the bigger tracks aren't near as fun because you don't race so close with anybody.
So what's your home racetrack you race on?
We have a racetrack up in Stewart, Nebraska that I ran micros at quite a bit. They run 305 sprint cars, but they never seem to get very many. Um, and then Wagner was close to us. We really don't have anything within the closest track to us is Norfolk Off-Road Speedway. It's about 45 minutes away, something like that. And we run there every once in a while. We ran there a little bit in go-karts. And I didn't run there my last year. I was just it's they race on Sundays. It's kind of hard. And so we actually have a sprint car race there April 4th or first week in April at some time, which we'll be at hopefully.
Okay, so so who do you look up to as a race car driver?
Oh, there's a lot. Um, I don't know. I like I kind of look up to people like Donnie Schatz or people who have really accomplished, but they don't have a bad name for themselves and they get along with the fans. I don't know. It's kind of hard. I look at people that I consider friends too, like Jake Galusha is a good buddy of mine, and I look up to what he does as a person and a race car driver. And there's a lot of there's a lot of people, but just to name a few, like Donnie Schatz or like Jake, and then you got uh, probably people like David Gravel or just some of those people like that are accomplished race car drivers, but they're not idiots on the racetrack either.
Okay, so who are some of your friends at the racetrack?
Well, I'm wearing a Garrett Benson shirt right now. He's a good buddy of mine. I'm basically friends with almost everybody. I try to get along with everybody. There's no reason to make enemies in my mind. When you make enemies, you take the fun out of it. So I'm friends with about everybody. I usually make my dad mad and go around in the pits all day and talk to people what it seems like for most of the day. But to name a few, I got Keegan Ozentowski. He's from up in Columbus. He's pretty close to us and I raced them in go-karts, raced them in micros, and he toured the national series with us. When we went, we actually took him up to Deming, up in Deming, Washington, to run the Clay Cup with us 2 years. And then Jake Glish is a good buddy of mine. Stu Snyder, he's a good buddy of mine too. He's helped us out a lot on the sprint car this year. That I just a whole bunch of other people too that I consider good friends. I'm sure I'm not naming all of them. It's almost impossible.
So who do you have for sponsors on your race car?
Oh, well, we have Angler Machine and Tool. They're probably our best sponsor that doesn't really pay us anything. They just give us they've welcomed us into their their family pretty much of racing. He's given us awesome deals on injections and stuff. We got Maori Land and Cattle, JB Lawn Care, RCI, Root Construction Incorporated, Main Street Auto. Oh, and I think that's about it. Oh, and then White Farms, which is our farms at my grandpa. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there any racetracks you're looking forward to running this year?
We're gonna go to there's a couple new ones. I am kind of excited to race at Eagle. I grew up racing on the middle of it, and I'm ready to run on the big track that we always used to cross to go to staging. That track's gonna be fun. We'll probably run there some in the 305, and I think we'll probably run the 360 there. We might run at Knoxville this year too. That'd be kind of fun. I don't know what to expect. It's a wild racetrack. That's where the big dogs go. So you gotta step up to go there. And then we go to Moberly Motorsports Park in Missouri, I think, with 360. I don't know. I've never really seen the racetrack before. It'd be kind of cool to check it out. There'll be a couple tracks new that we check out, and there'll be quite a few that we've ran at before. So I don't really have much of a schedule per se. We're farmers and race car drivers, so Mother Nature plays a big part in what we do every day.
Are you eventually going to make it to Jackson Motorplex or Houston Speedway?
Yeah, we ran there last year at Jackson, and I do plan on going up to Houston's too. Stewart races micros and sprint cars, so my sister who runs our other car, who runs the other micro, we'll probably go to Stewart quite a bit because we can run both cars, her and me, and they race on Sundays too. So we'll probably end up going up to Houston's too. And then Jackson doesn't have any 360 shows, but we'll probably go up there for their Jackson Nationals have 305s this year. We went up last year and ran the 360 at the Jackson Nationals, which we did all right. We had some bad luck. Our first night wasn't bad. The track was too tacky. That was the night they ran 305s and 360s, and the track never really widened out. It was kind of where you were, and it was my first night really experiencing like bad dirty air. And then
doing a show quick.
And then at the end of the night or the second night we broke a rear end. So it was kind of an up and down year in the 360, and Jackson was a fun place, and it was bad fast. So I do plan on going back with the 305. I hope they get a 360 show back there.
Okay, Domonic. Okay, who's on your race crew?
Well, my mother when she's there when she's not working. My sister, she helps out most of the time when she's not racing or doing something else. My dad's always there. Then we have some people come. I got some buddies who will sometimes come to the races. We've had sponsors like Maori Land and Cattle went with us to Arrowhead. That was nice. Sponsors will sometimes show up. And then I think of people, like Stu Snyder, he parks next to us. And if we ever need a helping hand, I know I can ask him. And I know that's the same way with a lot of people. Jake's another one that I can ask for help at any time. And I think I do believe that they would help me. So just a whole bunch of people like that help.
Okay, so what do you like to do for fun away from the racetrack?
Usually we're fun away from the racetrack. I don't do much for sports. I'm in competitive speech and 1X. That's fun. I do that during school year, and then when we're not during the summer, when we're racing, anytime I'm usually working on a race car, it seems like, or playing iRacing with some friends, or farming simulator with one of my buddies. Um, that, or we're farming, or we're just doing something outside or something. Living on a farm is probably the best lifestyle. You can do whatever you want, really. For the most part, you got an open expansion of cornfields out in front of you, and I joke with people that I live in the middle of a cornfield, so I kind of don't have much of a boundary, I guess. So yeah, I just kind of hang out, work on a race car, or just hibernate when it's cold.
So, do you have any crazy racing stories you'd like to share with us?
Nothing too bad. I've wrecked or flipped a couple times. I never had this year. It felt like there was a couple times in the sprint car where it was just I feel like our luck's been telling people you're not going to believe this, but this happened. And I'm hoping that changes. Um, Nothing too crazy has happened. Besides the fact that one night the driver, and I'm not going to name names, but that was 100% me, decided that he was going to hit a tractor tire in practice and in the B feature. So that was a rough night. I've done some try to take care of my car, but I seem to hit tractor tires too often.
Oh boy. So, do you have a racing nickname?
My engine builder for the micros, he's call me Superman. I guess I really don't know where that originated from. And then the nickname that a lot of people got for me is Dom the Bomb, I guess. So that's I got that nickname around school and sometimes around the racetrack too. So that's about it. I think the gas man for like a year, and I made that up on my own. So that didn't really catch on. And then it was Superman for a while, and then yeah, Dom the Bomb now.
So, do you have any advice for the kids coming up in the racing world?
There's a lot of things. One, don't take anything for granted. Don't think that because you won somewhere, or you won a small racetrack, we only had 3 cars there. A win's a win. There's that, and then there's never forget where you came from if you ever make it big. A lot of the racers that I respect now, one of them is Kyle Larson. He's never really forgot where he came from. He's not over and above everybody else. He's down to earth like everybody else is, and those are the people I respect in my mind. Are the people who don't, once they grow out of their kid stage, they turn into a whole different person and they turn into a superstar. And then the other thing is, you can never just believe in yourself. That's part of it. Don't ever get discouraged. Keep your chin up, because it's a long road ahead if you dread it the whole time. And it's got to be fun. You always try and make it fun, because once it ain't, then it really isn't racing. It's just going out there and holding the steering wheel.
So, have you ever met Kyle Larson?
I've been at races before where he's been. I've never raced against him, and I don't know. There's always usually like a mile long line to go see him, and I don't know. I'd rather, instead of getting in a long line to talk to somebody or get an interview like that, I'd rather go talk to somebody who. Key example was at Eagle. There was a long line to get to him, and I told my dad, I'm like, I'll go talk to Stu or somebody, or I'll go talk to. I went and talked to Jack Dover for a while. One of my I half tempted walked over to go over to Cy Lynch's and talk to him for a little bit. I didn't end up getting up there, but I have met. I mean, Larson's awesome and he's great in what he does, and I feel like I should let the kids have a chance to go talk to him. They see him as a role model, and I do too. But I feel like the kids would get more out of it talking to him and seeing him than me being in that line. So that's just what I think. Everybody has their own opinion on that, but that's just what I believe.
So, okay. What I like to do with my guests is I like to turn the mic over to them. If they would like to ask me some questions, they can.
Yeah. So when did you start this whole show?
They got started in the spring of 2018. Facebook Live idea, and then it took off from there, and we moved over to YouTube from there. So
Yeah. So I noticed it. A lot of it is the kids of racing or the up and coming people in racing. What made you go that direction instead of the more popular?
just something that thought it'd be kind of interesting to do.
Yeah, that's a nice way of doing it because give some people the spotlight that give somebody else spotlight that usually isn't in the spotlight.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for me?
That's probably about it. I don't know much else
Do
on
you
the
have a
top.
Do you have a racing page, Dominic, that the racing fans can follow you on?
I don't. I need to get there. I'm on TikTok, I guess. Besides that, it's my parents' Facebook. Um, so yeah, I'm not. I need to get a racing page to start posting stuff about racing instead of just mangled in with all the other stuff. But
Yeah.
I haven't quite gotten there yet.
Okay. Thank you very much for being on our racing show tonight, talking to us about
Yeah.
your racing. I will call you in a little bit to thank you in person. But I'll have you step out and talk to you here shortly.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yep, not a problem.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dominic White, sprint car driver on our show tonight. I have no racing news for you this week, except for the NASCAR drivers are going to Atlanta Motor Speedway this weekend, so good luck to them. If you'd like to sponsor a racing show or be on a racing show, feel free to call us or text us at 712-209-7138, or you can email us at jjnolan151@gmail.com. Have a good night.